The air in the small hospital room felt heavier than it should. Sunlight filtered through the blinds, painting faint stripes across the sterile white walls. The hum of machinery was a constant, low reminder of the fragile boundary between life and whatever lay beyond. Ana sat on the edge of the examination table, her legs dangling like a child's, though her heart bore the weight of a lifetime. She clutched the hem of her sweater, her knuckles white against the soft fabric. Across from her, Dr. Patel hesitated, the chart in her hands suddenly seeming much heavier than it had moments ago. "Ana," Dr. Patel began, her voice soft, yet firm, like a parent breaking bad news to a child. "The tests confirm it. It's advanced. Stage 4. The treatments, they've done all they can." The words hung in the air, each syllable like a stone sinking into the pit of Ana's stomach. She had prepared herself, or at least she thought she had, but no amount of preparation could truly cushion the blow. "How long?" Ana asked, her voice steady but barely above a whisper. Dr. Patel exhaled, the weight of the answer pressing visibly on her shoulders. "Months. 6, maybe less." Ana nodded slowly, as if the motion could somehow help her process the information. There were no tears, not yet. Instead, there was a surreal calm, as if her mind had momentarily detached from her body. She looked down at her hands, remembering how her father used to hold them when she was scared. Her voice returned, steadier this time. "What would you do, if you were me?" The doctor paused. "I'd make the most of the time I have. Focus on the things that matter. Be with the people I love. And, chase anything that still feels possible." Ana smiled faintly, a wistful, almost ironic expression. "Anything that still feels possible," she repeated. Her mind drifted to the countless nights she had spent as a little girl, lying on a blanket in her backyard with her father. They would point out constellations and talk about the vastness of space. "One day, Ana," he would say, "you'll see Earth from up there. And you'll understand how small our worries really are." The memory brought a tear, warm and solitary, tracing a path down her cheek. She wiped it away quickly as the door opened and Mia, her best friend, stepped inside. "Hey, what's going on?" Mia asked, her cheerful tone faltering as she caught sight of Ana's face. Ana turned to her, forcing a smile. "Nothing you can't help me fix," she said, her voice firmer now. Mia's brows knitted together. "What are you talking about?" Ana took a deep breath, steeling herself. "I have months left. But I'm not going anywhere until I make one thing happen." "And what's that?" Mia asked, stepping closer. "I'm going to see the Earth from space." The room fell silent, the declaration hanging in the air, as if daring the universe to challenge her resolve. The soft glow of the desk lamp cast a warm circle of light on the cluttered surface of Ana's worktable. Her apartment was quiet except for the faint hum of the city outside. Books on astronomy, space travel, and the cosmos were stacked haphazardly around her, like a fortress built from dreams. In the middle of it all sat a blank sheet of paper, mocking her with its emptiness. Ana tapped the pen against her lips, staring at the page. She had written letters before, letters to her father, letters to Mia during her travels, but this felt different. This letter wasn't just words. It was her last, desperate bid to make the impossible possible. The thought of addressing Elon Musk directly made her stomach twist. Would he even read it? Would his assistant toss it into a pile of thousands of other fan letters? Still, the thought of not trying was unbearable. She began to write. "Dear Mr. Musk. My name is Ana Rodriguez, and I'm writing to you with a dream that feels as vast and unreachable as the stars themselves. I'm a 33-year-old woman living in Boston, a lover of space, and, unfortunately, a terminally ill cancer patient. Doctors say I have months left. 6, maybe less. It's a number that feels surreal and suffocating, but it's also motivating. Since I was a little girl, I've looked up at the night sky and dreamed of seeing Earth from space. My father used to tell me stories about the astronauts who braved the unknown, and he'd always say, "One day, Ana, you'll be up there, too." That dream has stayed with me, even as life carried me far from it. I know what I'm asking might sound crazy. You're busy changing the world with SpaceX, Tesla, and all your other ventures. I'm just one person among billions. But I've read about your commitment to making space accessible to everyone. That belief in breaking barriers, in making the impossible possible, is why I'm writing to you now. I want to spend one moment, just one, seeing our beautiful Earth from the heavens. To feel the weightlessness of space, to look down at our planet and know that, for a brief instant, I was part of something bigger. This isn't just about me. It's about proving that dreams don't have to die with a diagnosis. That even in the face of the unimaginable, we can still reach for the stars. If there's any way you can help me make this happen, I will forever be grateful. You have the means, the vision, and the ability to make someone's wildest dream come true. And, if nothing else, you've already inspired me to believe in the extraordinary. Thank you for reading this. Sincerely, Ana Rodriguez. She set the pen down and stared at the letter. Her fingers trembled slightly as she picked it up, reading it aloud to herself. The words sounded raw, vulnerable, and a little absurd, but they were hers. Mia walked into the room, a mug of tea in her hands. "What are you working on?" she asked, leaning against the doorframe. Ana hesitated before holding up the letter. It's a long shot." Mia took the page, her eyes scanning the lines. By the time she finished, her expression was a mix of admiration and disbelief. "You're really sending this?" she asked, her voice soft. "I think I have to," Ana said. "It's the only chance I've got." Mia nodded, her lips pressing into a determined line. "Good. Because I'll make sure it gets there." Ana frowned. "How?" "Don't worry about that," Mia said, already pulling out her phone. "I have some ideas." Ana didn't push further. Instead, she watched as Mia disappeared into the other room, her determination a balm against Ana's doubts. For the first time in weeks, Ana felt a flicker of hope, small and fragile but burning brightly in the darkness. The letter was finished, and her dream was now in the hands of fate, or Elon Musk. It was a rare sunny afternoon in Boston, and the city seemed to hum with life. Ana and Mia sat on a worn wooden bench in the park, their breaths visible in the crisp winter air. Ana tilted her head back, letting the sunlight wash over her face as children laughed and played nearby. She cherished moments like this, where life felt almost normal again. Mia, scrolling through her phone, suddenly nudged Ana. "You're quiet today. Thinking about the letter?" Ana opened her eyes, a small smile playing on her lips. "A little. But mostly just enjoying this," she said, gesturing to the blue sky. "I don't need a rocket to feel closer to the stars right now." Mia chuckled. "That's poetic, but I still think we should aim higher." Pun intended. Ana shook her head, amused. "I've made peace with it, Mia. Even if Elon Musk doesn't." Her phone buzzed in her jacket pocket, interrupting her. Frowning, she pulled it out, glancing at the unfamiliar number. "Who's calling you on a Saturday?" Mia asked, leaning in to peek. "I don't know." Ana hesitated for a moment before swiping to answer. "Hello? Hi, is this Ana Rodriguez?" A calm, professional voice came through the line. Ana's brow furrowed. "Yes, this is Ana. This is Rachel Green from SpaceX. I'm calling on behalf of Elon Musk. He recently read your letter, and he was very moved by it." For a moment, Ana forgot how to breathe. She stared at Mia, her mouth slightly open as the words struggled to register. "Wait, what? SpaceX?" "Yes," Rachel continued, her tone warm and sincere. "Mr. Musk was deeply touched by your story and your dream. He asked me to reach out to see if we can arrange a meeting to discuss making it a reality." Ana gripped the phone tighter, her hand trembling. "Are you serious? This isn't a prank or something, right?" Rachel chuckled softly. "I assure you, Ms. Rodriguez, this is very real. If you're available, we'd like to fly you to California next week to meet Mr. Musk and discuss next steps." Mia, now wide-eyed and silently mouthing "What is happening?" grabbed Anna's arm, shaking her gently as if to keep her grounded in reality. I don't know what to say," Ana stammered. "Yes, of course. I'm available." "Wonderful," Rachel said. "I'll send you an email shortly with all the details. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions in the meantime." "I will. Thank you. Thank you so much." As the call ended, Ana sat frozen, the phone still pressed to her ear. Mia finally broke the silence, practically shouting, "Was that really who I think it was?" Ana nodded slowly, her voice barely above a whisper. "SpaceX. Elon Musk. They want to meet me." Mia jumped up from the bench, pulling Ana into a tight hug and nearly knocking her over. "I knew it. I knew your letter would get through. This is incredible." Ana laughed, the sound tinged with disbelief and joy. "I don't even know how to process this. It's surreal." Mia released her, grabbing Anna's shoulders and staring at her intently. "This is happening, Ana. You're going to meet Elon Musk. The man who wants to colonize Mars is about to help you see Earth from space." Ana let out a shaky breath, her mind racing. "What do I even say to him? What if I mess this up? What if?" Mia cut her off, her tone firm but kind. "No. No what-ifs. You've already done the hardest part. You poured your heart into that letter, and it reached him. The rest is just you being you." Anna's lips curved into a genuine smile, tears glistening in her eyes. "I can't believe this is real." Mia grinned, sitting back down beside her. "Believe it, Ana. This is your dream, and it's finally taking off." As the sun dipped lower in the sky, painting everything in shades of gold and orange, Ana sat quietly, absorbing the enormity of what had just happened. For the first time in a long while, the impossible didn't seem so out of reach. The sprawling SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne, California, was a sight to behold. The building's sleek, futuristic design seemed to echo the company's mission, to make the impossible possible. Inside, the atmosphere was electric, engineers hustled between conference rooms, giant screens displayed rocket simulations, and models of spacecraft hung from the ceilings like modern art. Ana clutched her bag tightly, feeling both awe and intimidation. Beside her, Rachel Green, the woman who had called Ana days ago, walked with calm precision. "Elon is finishing a meeting," Rachel explained as they approached a conference room. "He's eager to speak with you." Ana nodded, her pulse quickening. She had rehearsed what to say 100 times, but now her thoughts felt like a jumble of nerves and anticipation. The glass doors to the room slid open silently. Inside, Elon Musk stood by a large window, his back to them, gazing out at the SpaceX factory floor. The faint hum of machinery below added to the surreal energy of the moment. "Elon, Ana Rodriguez is here," Rachel announced. He turned, a small, welcoming smile on his face. He wasn't as imposing as Ana had imagined. His demeanor was casual, jeans, a black t-shirt, and a blazer, but his presence carried an undeniable weight. "Ana," he said, stepping forward and extending a hand. "It's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for coming all this way." Ana shook his hand, her voice shaky but steady enough. "Thank you for inviting me, Mr. Musk. This is an honor." "Call me Elon," he said, motioning for her to take a seat at the table. And the honor is mine. Your letter was inspiring. It reminded me why we started this journey, to make space accessible to everyone. Ana sat, her hands resting in her lap, willing herself to stay composed. I never thought you'd read it. Honestly, I wasn't sure it would even reach you. Elon chuckled, leaning back in his chair. I read a lot of letters, but yours stood out. It wasn't just about going to space, it was about hope, about proving what's possible even in the most difficult circumstances. Ana nodded, her confidence growing. Space has always been my dream. My dad used to tell me that seeing Earth from space would make all our problems seem small. He died when I was young, but that dream stayed with me. Elon's expression softened. Your father sounds like a wise man. And he's right. Seeing Earth from space, it changes you. That's why we're working so hard to make it available to more people. For a moment, there was silence, heavy with unspoken understanding. Elon, Ana began hesitantly, I know this is a huge ask. I know I'm not a scientist or an astronaut. But I want to be part of something bigger than myself, even if it's just for a moment. Elon leaned forward, his hands clasped on the table. You're already part of something bigger, Ana. Your story has touched everyone here. The question isn't whether we can make this happen, it's how quickly we can do it. Ana's eyes widened. You mean, you're saying yes? I'm saying yes, Elon confirmed. But there are logistics to consider, medical evaluations, training, fitting you into our next civilian mission. It's not easy, but it's possible. And if there's one thing I believe in, it's making the possible a reality. Tears welled in Ana's eyes, but she blinked them back, refusing to let them fall. I don't even know how to thank you. Live your dream, Elon said simply. And when you're up there, tell me if your dad was right. The weight of his words hit her, and she could only nod, her throat too tight to speak. Rachel re-entered the room, a tablet in hand. We've already started coordinating with the medical team for evaluations, she said. And Ana, we'll need to go over the training schedule with you soon. Ana looked between Rachel and Elon, her heart pounding. This was happening, actually happening. Thank you, she said, her voice firm despite the emotion bubbling beneath the surface. I promise I won't let you down. Elon smiled, standing as the meeting concluded. You already haven't, Ana. Welcome to the SpaceX family. As Ana left the room, escorted by Rachel, the enormity of the moment began to sink in. She was no longer just a dreamer or a patient. She was part of something extraordinary. Walking through the bustling halls of SpaceX, she felt lighter than she had in months. For the first time since her diagnosis, the future didn't feel like a ticking clock, it felt like a rocket, ready to launch her toward the stars. The sprawling SpaceX training facility was a world of its own, buzzing with the energy of innovation and determination. Every corner of the building seemed to echo with purpose, from the hum of advanced simulators to the excited chatter of trainees. For Ana, stepping into this place felt like entering a dream she never wanted to wake from. Her first day was a blur of introductions, medical evaluations, and briefings. The SpaceX medical team performed extensive tests to ensure her body could withstand the rigors of space travel. Though Ana was nervous, she met each challenge with quiet determination. The doctors were kind, explaining every procedure in detail, but they didn't shy away from discussing the risks. Ana, Dr. Kim said gently after a stress test, your condition presents unique challenges. Space travel can be taxing even for healthy individuals. Are you sure you want to proceed? Ana, sitting on the edge of the examination table, met his gaze with unwavering resolve. I didn't come this far to stop now, Dr. Kim. Whatever it takes, I'm ready. Her response silenced any lingering doubts in the room. The next phase of her journey was training. Ana and her fellow trainees were introduced to their instructors, a team of experienced astronauts and engineers who would guide them through every step. The training was grueling, designed to push participants to their limits. For Ana, it was more than just preparation, it was a test of her willpower. The first challenge was the centrifuge, a device designed to simulate the intense G-forces experienced during launch and re-entry. Ana watched as one trainee exited the machine, looking pale and disoriented. Her turn came sooner than she'd hoped. Strapped into the seat, Ana felt her heart race as the machine roared to life. The force pressed her back, making it hard to breathe. Her vision blurred, and for a moment, she thought she might black out. But then, she remembered her father's words, "One day, Ana, you'll see Earth from up there." Gritting her teeth, she pushed through, emerging from the centrifuge shaky but triumphant. "Impressive," one of the instructors said, nodding. "Most people don't handle their first run that well." Ana managed a weak smile, her pride outweighing her exhaustion. The next few weeks were a whirlwind of activities. She learned the intricacies of spacecraft systems, practiced emergency protocols, and even trained for weightlessness in a massive neutral buoyancy tank. Floating in the water, wearing a replica of the space suit she would don on the mission, Ana felt a moment of pure joy. It was a taste of the freedom she had longed for her entire life. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. There were days when her body betrayed her, when the fatigue from her illness threatened to overwhelm her. One particularly tough day, after a failed simulation, she sat alone in the locker room, her head in her hands. Mia, who had flown in to support her, found her there. "Hey," she said softly, sitting beside her. "What's going on?" "I don't know if I can do this," Ana admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. "I want to, but I'm so tired, Mia. What if I can't make it?" Mia reached over, taking Anna's hand. "Do you remember when we were kids, and we'd go roller skating? You fell, like, 20 times, and every single time, you got back up. Do you know why?" Ana looked up, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "Because you wouldn't let me quit." "Exactly," Mia said, squeezing her hand. "And I'm not letting you quit now. You've already done the impossible just by being here. One tough day isn't going to stop you." Her words reignited Anna's determination. The next day, she returned to training with renewed vigor, pushing herself harder than ever. One of the most challenging parts of training was the zero-gravity flight. Known as the Vomit Comet, the aircraft performed parabolic maneuvers to simulate weightlessness. Ana felt a mix of excitement and anxiety as she boarded the plane with her crew. When the plane arced into its first parabola, the sensation was unlike anything Ana had ever experienced. Her stomach flipped as gravity seemed to vanish, and she floated freely, her arms outstretched. A laugh escaped her lips, light, joyous, and utterly unrestrained. "This is incredible," she exclaimed, her voice echoing in the cabin. Her crewmates smiled, sharing her wonder. For a brief moment, Ana forgot her illness, her struggles, everything. She was weightless, untethered, free. Over time, Ana grew close to her crewmates. Each brought their own unique story and motivation for joining the mission. There was Marcus, a retired firefighter who dreamed of seeing space since childhood, Priya, a scientist eager to inspire young women in STEM, and Luis, a tech entrepreneur who saw the mission as a way to promote unity. They bonded over shared experiences, late-night discussions, and mutual encouragement. Ana found herself opening up to them in ways she hadn't expected. Her story, her determination, inspired them just as much as they inspired her. "You're the heart of this crew," Marcus told her one evening during a break. "Every time I think I can't handle something, I look at you, and I realize I have no excuse." Ana blushed, touched by his words. "We're all in this together," she said simply. As the final weeks of training approached, the reality of the mission began to set in. Anna's body, though weaker than most of her peers, had adapted to the rigorous demands. Her instructors were impressed by her progress, noting her resilience and determination. During a private meeting with Elon Musk, he expressed his admiration. "You've proven what I've always believed, that the human spirit is capable of extraordinary things," he said. "You're going to inspire millions, Ana." Her heart swelled with pride and gratitude. "Thank you for believing in me," she said. "I won't let you down." The night before the crew's final simulation, Ana stood outside the training facility, gazing up at the stars. The vast expanse of the universe seemed closer than ever, and for the first time, she allowed herself to fully embrace the reality of what she was about to achieve. Mia joined her, wrapping a blanket around both of them. "It's almost time," Mia said softly. Ana nodded, her eyes never leaving the sky. "It still feels surreal." "It's real," Mia said. "And so are you. You're going to space, Ana. You're making it happen." As the stars glittered above them, Ana felt a quiet, profound peace. The journey had been long and challenging, but every step had brought her closer to her dream. Tomorrow, she would take the final step, and soon, she would see the Earth as she had always imagined it, from above. The Kennedy Space Center buzzed with anticipation. Floodlights illuminated the massive rocket on the launch pad, standing tall against the inky backdrop of the pre-dawn sky. The air was cool, tinged with the scent of salt carried by the ocean breeze. Journalists, spectators, and SpaceX employees gathered in controlled chaos, their excitement palpable. Inside the astronaut facility, Ana sat quietly as a technician checked the seals on her spacesuit. The soft hiss of air pressurization filled the room. Her heart pounded, but her face remained calm, her mind focused. She caught her reflection in the polished visor of her helmet, a woman transformed, ready for the impossible. "Everything looks good," the technician said with a nod, stepping back. "You're cleared to proceed." Ana stood, the weight of the suit a reminder of how far she had come. Her crewmates, Marcus, Priya, and Luis, waited nearby, each suited up and carrying their own blend of excitement and nerves. Marcus grinned at her. "Ready for this, Ana?" "As ready as I'll ever be," she replied, her voice steady but tinged with awe. The crew climbed into the transport vehicle, which would take them to the launch pad. The journey was short but felt endless. Outside, the rocket loomed larger with every passing second. It was no longer just a machine, it was their vessel, their bridge to the stars. Ana's gaze remained fixed on it. She thought of her father, her backyard stargazing sessions, and the letter that had brought her here. The weight of those memories steadied her, grounding her in the moment. As they arrived at the pad, the launch tower's elevator whisked them up to the crew access arm. The engineers offered words of encouragement as they prepared to enter the spacecraft. Ana paused at the hatch, her gloved hand resting on the edge for just a moment. "You're going to do great," Priya said, giving her a reassuring pat on the back. With a deep breath, Ana stepped inside, the spacecraft's interior as sleek and futuristic as the facility where she had trained. The seats awaited them, curved and padded, outfitted with controls and monitors. She slid into her assigned position, the straps tightening around her. The voice of mission control crackled in her earpiece. "Crew Dragon, this is SpaceX. Commencing pre-launch checklist." The countdown began. T-20 minutes. Ana's hands gripped the armrests as she listened to the procedural calls. Every moment brought them closer to the point of no return. She glanced at Marcus, seated beside her, who gave her a thumbs up. T-10 minutes. The rocket systems hummed to life. Vibrations coursed through the cabin as the engines were primed. Ana's breathing quickened, but she focused on the steady rhythm of her heartbeat, a grounding anchor amidst the mounting tension. T-2 minutes. Her thoughts turned to Mia, who was somewhere in the crowd below, watching with the same intensity Ana felt now. "You were right, Dad," she thought. "I made it. Crew Dragon, prepare for ignition." The final moments passed in a blur. T-10 seconds. 9. 8. 7. Each number felt like a lifetime, yet they passed in an instant. 3. 2. 1. Ignition. The rocket roared to life, a deafening symphony of power and purpose. Ana felt the force of the engines pressing her into her seat as they ascended. The vibrations were intense, the cabin shaking as the ground fell away beneath them. Her breath caught as she glanced out of the viewport. The horizon curved, the colors of dawn blending into the vast blackness of space. Stage separation confirmed, the voice from Mission Control announced. The sudden calm was almost disorienting. The engines cut off, and for the first time, Ana felt the pull of weightlessness. Her body floated slightly against the restraints, a sensation that brought a burst of laughter to her lips. The crew unfastened their harnesses and began to move freely within the cabin. Ana released hers slowly, her hands trembling as she let go and drifted upward. She turned toward the observation module, where Earth awaited her. As she approached the window, her breath caught in her throat. The view was beyond anything she had imagined. The planet stretched below, its swirling blues and whites vivid against the inky void. She placed a gloved hand on the glass, her tears floating freely in the zero-gravity environment. "It's beautiful," she whispered, her voice filled with awe. Marcus floated beside her, his expression mirroring her wonder. "It never gets old, does it?" "No," Ana said, shaking her head. "It doesn't." The crew spent hours marveling at their surroundings, conducting experiments, and sharing stories. Ana recorded a message for Mia, her voice steady and warm. "Mia, I'm here. I'm looking at Earth right now, and it's more breathtaking than I ever dreamed. Thank you for believing in me, for making this possible. And Dad. I hope you're watching." Her words hung in the air, weightless like her body, yet heavy with emotion. As the spacecraft continued its orbit, Ana's sense of time faded. Every moment felt infinite, yet fleeting. She knew this was more than just a journey to space, it was the fulfillment of a promise, a testament to the power of hope and perseverance. For the first time in years, Ana felt truly alive. Among the stars, she had found her place. The silence of space was unlike anything Ana had ever experienced. It wasn't the absence of sound that struck her, but the profound stillness, the kind that made her feel both infinitesimal and infinite at the same time. Floating inside the Crew Dragon, she could see Earth below, a shimmering orb of blues, whites, and greens wrapped in delicate swirls of clouds. Ana drifted toward the observation module, her movements slow and deliberate. The window was larger than she had imagined, curving slightly to provide an almost panoramic view. Her breath hitched as she pressed her gloved hand against the glass. "Earth," she whispered, the word barely audible even to herself. Behind her, Marcus floated closer, his movements practiced and fluid. "First time seeing it like this, huh?" he asked, his tone light but reverent. Ana nodded, her eyes never leaving the view. "It's more beautiful than I imagined. Pictures don't prepare you for this." "They really don't," Marcus said with a soft laugh. "Every time I come up here, it reminds me why we do what we do. Look at that, no borders, no divisions. Just one world." His words lingered in the air, their truth undeniable. Ana felt her chest tighten, not from fear or sadness, but from a profound sense of connection. The spacecraft rotated slightly, revealing a different section of Earth. Below, the deep blue of the Pacific Ocean stretched endlessly, dotted with tiny islands. Lights from cities began to twinkle as the planet spun toward night. Ana imagined the millions of lives unfolding in those lights, people working, loving, dreaming, all unaware of the quiet observer watching from above. Priya floated beside her, holding a small camera. "You should record a message," she said. "This moment deserves to be shared." Ana hesitated for a moment before nodding. She adjusted her position and faced the camera, the Earth a radiant backdrop behind her. "Hi, Mia," she began, her voice trembling slightly but growing steadier with each word. I don't even know how to put this into words. I'm here. I'm in space. And I'm looking at Earth, our home, from above. It's more breathtaking than I ever dreamed. She paused, her throat tightening as emotions bubbled to the surface. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for being my rock through all of this. You're part of the reason I'm here, and I hope you know that. And Dad, her voice cracked, and she took a deep breath. Dad, if you're watching, you were right. Seeing Earth from here, it does make everything else seem small. I miss you. I hope I've made you proud. She handed the camera back to Priya, who gave her a gentle nod of understanding. Later, as the crew gathered for their meal, Ana joined in the camaraderie. Floating around the cabin, their laughter echoed softly in the enclosed space. It felt strange, eating in weightlessness, but Ana found herself enjoying the novelty of it. You're a natural up here, Louise said, tossing her a sealed drink pouch. Ana caught it with an awkward, outstretched hand and smiled. I don't know about that. I'm still figuring out how not to bump into everything. That's part of the fun, Priya added with a grin. The easy banter lightened the atmosphere, grounding them in the shared humanity of the experience. For a while, it was easy to forget the vast void surrounding them. As the hours passed, Ana returned to the observation module. She needed to be alone with her thoughts, to truly absorb the magnitude of this journey. She floated close to the window, gazing at Earth now bathed in the golden light of sunrise. The curvature of the planet glowed faintly, a perfect silhouette against the blackness of space. She traced the outline with her eyes, memorizing every detail. The weightlessness made her feel untethered, free from the constraints of her illness, her body, and even time itself. Here, there were no limits, no ticking clock. She was simply Ana, a soul adrift among the stars. She closed her eyes and let the quiet embrace her. Memories flooded her mind, her father's voice as they lay on the grass counting stars, Mia's laughter as they planned this impossible journey, the uncertainty and hope that had carried her to this moment. When the rest of the crew found her, she was still at the window, her face serene. You okay? Marcus asked softly, not wanting to intrude. Ana turned to him, her expression radiant. I've never been better. They shared a smile, unspoken understanding passing between them. As the spacecraft completed another orbit, Ana felt a sense of peace she had never known. Here, in the stillness of space, she had found not just her dream but something greater, a connection to the universe, to herself, and to the fragile, beautiful world she called home. The spacecraft descended through the Earth's atmosphere, the cabin filling with the sound of vibrations and the occasional crackle from mission control. The crew was strapped tightly into their seats, the once weightless environment now replaced by the pull of gravity increasing with every passing second. Anna's body ached, but she barely noticed, her mind still lingering on the breathtaking moments she had experienced in orbit. Crew Dragon, re-entry is stable. You're looking good, the voice from mission control assured them. Marcus turned his head toward Ana, grinning despite the intense G-forces pressing them into their seats. Almost home. Ana managed a small smile, her heart pounding with anticipation. Home. The word carried a new weight now, one she hadn't fully appreciated until she had seen Earth from above. The parachutes deployed with a powerful jolt, slowing the spacecraft's descent as it neared the ocean. Moments later, a soft splash signaled their landing, the capsule rocking gently on the waves. Cheers erupted from the crew, a shared sense of relief and triumph filling the cabin. When the hatch finally opened, sunlight poured in, warm and blinding after the dim interior of the spacecraft. The recovery team helped the crew out one by one, steadying them as they adjusted to the return of gravity. Anna's legs wobbled, her muscles protesting the sudden shift, but she steadied herself with the help of a technician. As her feet touched the deck of the recovery ship, a wave of emotions overwhelmed her. The sky was a brilliant blue, the ocean stretching endlessly around them, and the air carried the unmistakable scent of salt and life. For the first time, she truly understood what it meant to come home. Mia was waiting for her at the reception area, tears streaming down her face as she rushed to hug Ana. "You did it," she whispered, holding her tightly. "You actually did it." Ana laughed, her voice thick with emotion. "We did it, Mia. I couldn't have done this without you." Reporters and cameras surrounded them, but for Ana, the world seemed to fade away. She had touched the stars, seen Earth as only a few ever would, and returned not just alive but transformed. Looking out at the horizon, Ana felt a deep, unshakable peace. The journey had changed her, and now, she was ready to share its wonder with the world.